Okay. Hi, Michael Bash. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing fine. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. It's nice meeting you.
And I appreciate it too. I'd love to do it.
So, as we were talking about before we got on, you are 91 years old. Is that correct?
I'll be 91 in March 19 of next year, in 3 months.
Wow, that's super.
I
S-
was born in 31.
So, you do get the prize for being the oldest guest on our show. Ron Galella, who's a famous photographer, had that prize. He's 88. But you have broken the record, so congratulations.
Medium told me a few years ago that I would live to 104. So I'm still young.
Who said you would live to 104?
A medium.
A medium.
You know,
Okay.
these people, they know supposedly, they predicted my father's passing away. So I hope they're right about this one.
How old was your father when he passed away?
No, he was 81.
Oh, okay.
My mother was 96. My sister passed away 2 days ago at 92.
There is a genetic connection, I think, sometimes with people.
Yeah, there should be, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we've got a lot to talk about. You've got a book out called,
The $1 million miracle, I'm holding it.
okay, yeah, there it is. Let me just read this off the top of your bio real quick. It says, after borrowing $30,000 from a friend of your father to finance your first real estate deal, you officially became a millionaire. Tell me a little about that. What did you do with the $30,000?
I actually didn't do too much. I only needed 15,000. I bought a piece of property for $80,000 and put down 15,000 down payment, and then I had 90 days closing. So and I was looking for some property north of New York City. It was 80 miles north in the town of Poughkeepsie. I knew that IBM was coming to that area and they'll have a lot of employees and that couldn't afford more than just a reasonable apartment. So I figured I'll get some property to build apartments on so that I could rent to them for very little. At that time, eventually, when I built it, I only charged $90 for one bedroom and $115 for two bedrooms. So that was very reasonable, and I rented it in no time. But anyway, I moved to Poughkeepsie and then started to look for properties. So I see property in a convenient area not too far from Main Street and all the shopping and the industry. And it had one problem. There was an incinerator there, an old incinerator. They used to burn all the garbage in the area. So it was sitting there, and they couldn't sell the property next to it or across the street from it because who wants to live next to an incinerator?
Sure.
I found a way to cure it. So I did the rezoning part. And it's all in the book. It tells you all what I had to go through. And the rezoning itself takes only a couple of hours. You become an overnight millionaire. So I convinced I needed 3 votes, 3 out of 5 from the city, which I convinced them that I'm doing the right thing. And I got it rezoned. As soon as I got it rezoned, I went to LA and I met some people that were building in northern New Jersey. No, I didn't go to LA. I went to New York. And there were builders. There were 3 Jewish persons that came from the Holocaust. So they were very smart and they were good builders. They looked at my property and they bought half interest to become partners with me for $750,000. Which made the total value of the property 1.5 million. I had 750 million in cash and 750,000 in cash and 750,000 in the property, my half. So we built this whole thing. I built a wall around it, a high wall so no one could see the incinerator. Then I planted trees, bushes, and flowers and called it Town Gardens. It was beautiful inside. The first weekend, I rented 100 units right away. And eventually, there was no time. I rented that. Then I went across the street. That property was touching the incinerator. I had to do a little bit more something to hide it and build a similar amount of properties and made another $1.5 million. When I was through with all this over there, I made a total of $5 million. I could have made more if I didn't sell my part to my partners and went to do other things. But that, for me, it was unbelievable. So since then, I've done many rezoning. I've done about at least 20 and made all kinds of money. And the thing that I like to do is to give to charity. If you don't help charity, you didn't do too much in your life. So I spent $7 million for charity. One of them, I did St. Jude Hospital with Danny Thomas. Every year we want to go. I paid for the TV, Channel 9, and we raised $10 to $20 million every year until he died. So we had to stop, but that was very enjoyable. Then I built the largest synagogue in Jerusalem on King George Street.
Wow.
Together with a few other people, some of them from England. And then I gave $1 million to Ben Gurian University to build a branch of the university in the Beersheba, south of Jerusalem. I was born and raised in Jerusalem, and I was even in a War of Independence in 1947-48. I was 2 years and 3 days in the army. And I've done all kinds of things then, including delivering pigeon mails to a place called Rachel Heights. From there, if you look down, on the left you see where Jesus was born in Bethlehem, and on the right you see Rachel tomb. Rachel was a daughter of Abraham, who had Benjamin, and she died in childbirth. And now they fixed up that area very well. It's beautiful. It looks like a palace. When I saw it at the beginning, it was very neglected.
So you were born there before it was Israel. It was still Palestine in those days.
I was born in 1931.
Yeah.
There was only 50,000 Jews in Jerusalem and 500,000 Jews in the whole country. It was very small. I was raised there and I was influenced by it, I was very much influenced by the Christian religion because of Paul. Paul was a Jewish rabbi, and he took the small Jewish religion that only 1 million or so Jews believed in it, and he rezoned it to the Christian religion with today 2.5 billion people. And look how many people here have Jewish names like Michael, Abraham, Sarah,
Sure.
Rachel, all kinds of names. Shows the influence, and also the 10 Commandments that was given on Mount Sinai by God himself to the Jewish people. Influenced the whole world. The whole world is, a very good part of the world. The Muslims too believe in all this. They even built a mosque right where on King Solomon Temple, which we don't appreciate it too much, but it's still there. And, I had some Arab friends because I lived there, and they were very good friends, no problem whatsoever.
Let me ask you a little bit about your book, because we're kind of running down on time, and I want to just get a basic idea of what the book is about. So is the book a biography? Is it a life story, or is it more of a how to get rich type book?
It's both. First, it's how to get rich overnight, which most people don't believe. Very few people believe it, but it's true. I've done it 20 times. Secondly, it's a biography because My biography is teaching. I did so many nice things, so many things to make money besides that rezoning, that I want to teach other people how to do it. I even rezoned people. I had the son of the Pritzker family, a very rich family. Today is a billionaire, 2.2 billion. He inherited from his parents. And I taught him the business. He was with me for a year. And I also increased the milk output of the cows in the world, because the average cow used to do 13,000 pounds a year. Now I doubled it to 26,000. And in the United States and Israel, it's up to that level. I even sent some to Zimbabwe because they seem not to have any milk. So it's really a very, very valuable book because it teaches so many things just from my own experience. You see, I was an engineer. I went to engineering school in Newark, New Jersey, from Israel. Once I graduated, I worked for Western Electric, and I had a big patent. They took a recorder controller. They used to control processes of one operation, and I changed it. I rezoned it to one that can do 24 units. So people say each recorder cost 10,000. So people save 240,000 just using one instrument instead of 24. That taught me about rezoning and what Paul did with the Jewish religion, rezoning. So I believe in, I even rezoned my wife. When I met her, she was just a nurse. Unfortunately, she died 30 years ago.
Oh.
And then she became a lady. I had a 20-carat ring on her. I bought a bracelet for her for $250,000. Today it's probably worth $1 million. And earrings. She became a rich lady doing only charity, especially for older people. So she did a lot of good. And that's the thing that I value the most, doing charity, help other people. And I want people to believe in my book. Anybody can do it and make $1 million or more. It's not a story, a legend. It's real. I'm retired now. I retired about 3 years ago. Maybe I'll start doing it again.
Well, you certainly have the energy for it. I want to go back to the cows, though, for a minute. How did you increase the output of milk and cows?
Oh, the cows?
Yeah, how did you do that?
Well, I'm an engineer, so I know how to do. What do you do? When you say that a cow does an average of 13,000 pounds of milk, it's an average of all the cows, which means some cows do only 4,000, 7,000. But some cows do 30,000 or 60,000. It varies, like with human beings. By the way, I had the highest IQ in high school. So different people have different IQ, and different cows have different possibility to do milk. So what I did, you give the cow, you pick the cow that does 60,000. You give her an injection, and instead of one egg falling into her uterus, 20, 30, 50 eggs fall in.
Oh, I see.
Then you take semen from a bull who has daughters that do that, and you fertilize all the eggs. Now they can't stay there because she'll explode. She can't get pregnant with 50 cows. So you take them out one by one and you insert them in regular cows that can't do too much, but they can raise the baby.
Oh, I see.
And all of a sudden, they're the mothers of cows that do 50, 60, 40, 30, much more than the 13,000 average. And that's how I did it. And I immediately gave the secrets and everything to Israel and to the United States. So these two countries, and I sent even to Zimbabwe because they were crying for milk. I mean, we have about 1 billion people go to bed hungry in this world. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I have another book, Evolution by God, and in that book I have a chapter, you got to read it, Building a Better World. It's a fabulous chapter. Somebody told me that 30 years from now, everybody will recognize me for that particular chapter. I won't be around, but other people will be. So that's a good chapter on my other book, Evolution by God.
Michael, we do have to wrap this up. We are out of time.
Yeah, okay. Well, never did. It's all right with me.
Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your story, your life story, a bit of it. Quite fascinating. Best of luck with the book. The book is out now and it's available?
Yes, it's out now in here in the hardcover also, which it looks much better. The hardcover is $29. The soft cover is $18.
Okay, great.
But it's in Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon or any bookstore.
Okay. Well, thank you again. It was nice meeting you.